Welcome to the intro, I guess. I really don't know where to start with it, but welcome. This
Should
is
have thought
yeah, we should have, but uh,
that before.
welcome to Under the Lantern. We try to keep it real here. Uh, it's a new podcast. Uh, Tagline for it's going to be real simple and clear: faith fueled clarity in a culture gone dark. Uh, just one that we felt compelled to. I know I did. What about you?
Felt forced to. Nah, I mean, the state of everything nowadays, it's just nice to get stuff out there, I feel like.
Yeah, with obviously the world that we've gone into recently. It's something I think we both felt we needed to be a little louder on. So, just introducing ourselves a little bit. I'm Clay.
I am Ash. Or Asher.
I go by
Fuck.
both. Hey,
Yeah.
but I've got a little bit of a background in politics, business, in about anything kind of in that realm. I really fell in love with it as I was studying and getting older, and just kind of going with it, figuring out where I was along that path.
Uh, I am the opposite. I am not really that political or politically informed necessarily. But, I mean, opinions are opinions. Everybody has them, right? Um, I have lived an interesting life, so I could probably share some insight on that aspect. Um, you know, helping those that may need some insight to issues they may need clarity on, or just need a helping hand.
And like I said at the start, we try to keep it real. And that's the aim of this is to be real, to be open. You know, this came in the wake, of course, of the murder and assassination of Charlie Kirk. I know I personally felt a lot of rage from it. I mean, we're still 48 hours out from it. Uh, just giving us a place where we can speak out. We're keeping a little bit of anonymity because we want our words to have more power than a face or some kind of altruistic message where you know you're not alone. Knowing that even behind a screen, we're not afraid of our views, we're not afraid to speak up and be louder. But maybe in a world where we are facing this type of fear for having these views, a place we can feel we can be open. And
Yeah,
so,
I mean, in the great words of the great Charlie Kirk, um, you should never be silent in your beliefs, right? I mean, the man embodied communication. He embodied values, ideas, and yeah, like he went to colleges and debated students, but look at what he did. I mean, he got the entire student body to just have a conversation, you know, not sitting behind a keyboard typing aggressively at stupid things and then not, just standing up for who you are and what you believe in. Sure, you may not agree with somebody, sure you may have different ideas or different opinions about things, but that's the beauty of a debate is you bring these ideas, you bring these talks, and you bring these conversations in front of somebody else that may have something opposed to that. And I mean, instead of screaming, yelling, shouting, getting violent, doing anything like that, you come together and you say, hey, these are my points, this is my opinion, this is what I think. Then hear out the other person on their opinions, their points, and their thoughts on whatever it is that their belief is, and then somehow, some way, figure out a way to come to a middle ground and say, look, I don't 100% agree with you, and I know you don't 100% agree with me, but at the end of the day, something that you said stuck with me. It's something that I said hopefully sticks with you. And that was the embodiment of his movement, and that was I think that's like the one of the greatest pillars of this country, right? Freedom of speech is, you know, one of the fundamental foundations of this country. And like I know for a fact that you also felt this way, but whenever I heard about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, it's like somebody literally just took a shot at our First Amendment, right? To actually speak freely. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of a disgrace to our own country.
I was supposed to say, I think you hit it on the nose. I fail to remember who it was, but I saw something on X right after it happened. But the tweet that he had put out, or I guess X post, I don't know what you call it nowadays, but it, what he put out was it felt like somebody shot the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And you took away that voice, somebody who, regardless of what you thought of his stances, his opinions, his beliefs, wanted to truly reach across that aisle and say, like you said, summed up perfectly. I don't believe the way you do, you don't believe the way that I do, but if we talk, maybe we can find something in the middle where I can be happy, you can be happy, and we can still coexist. One of his most famous quotes is still, when people stop talking, bad things happen. And when the loudest voice in the room just got silenced, we need to make sure we keep talking.
Yeah. I mean, I've been just as like probably many other people have been like scrolling through Instagram and on YouTube Reels and watching videos, and a lot of what I've been seeing is just all about the situation and like kind of like how you said it, right? When conversations stop, that's when violence happens. That's word for word exactly how Charlie Kirk explained it, and that's exactly what we see, right? Like back maybe 10, 15 years ago, right? Conversations were still going, right? And we weren't as crazily into it, head deep into violence as we are today. But over the past few years, conversations have dwindled down, whether that has some sort of cause and effect from whatever is going on in the world. At the end of the day, we've seen that kind of play out exactly that way. People stop talking, violence starts happening just because there's a difference between everybody, right? Everybody has opinions, everybody has thoughts and beliefs, but when somebody sees that that belief is being challenged, instead of having a formal conversation, talking about it, trying to resolve the differences with whoever you have a difference with, people tend to resort to what I, in my honest opinion, would say is more of an animal instinct of just hashing it out with violence. And we've seen countless times throughout history how violence can really destroy relationships.
I was about to say, just
Violence can
wreck
destroy,
people.
yeah, it can destroy communities, it can destroy countries, it can destroy the whole world. And that's why, in my opinion, like people like Charlie Kirk were such a valuable soul, valuable person, valuable asset to the world because they challenged that very viewpoint of violence by saying there's a better way. I mean, there's always a better way, but people don't like to think of it as a better way. People like to think of it as a more inconvenient way because you actually have to put your thoughts in order and have a conversation with somebody that you may not agree with, you may not quite particularly be fond of, but that's the whole point of a debate. You're not being told that you have to like somebody necessarily. You're not being told that you have to become best friends with somebody or you have to agree with somebody 100%. You just have to have a conversation and explain why you think the way that you do, why your opinions are the way they are, because they have an opposing opinion and they have their own reasons as to why they have those opinions. So it's like opinions should just be that, opinions. But in today's world, see after seeing the tragedy that happened a couple of days ago, right? Like just because somebody has an opinion that differs from you, how can you justify taking an innocent life like that?
Exactly. And that's what this aims to be. This is going to be something where we come together and we talk about life, about politics, about our faith, and try to come at it from a conventional and traditional perspective because I I know for myself I lean more conservative. I know you've come to be more conservative in the last few years. I I don't think necessarily from a change of your morals I would have said you were more centrist years ago, but I think that line got pulled. So even though we line up on the same side of the spectrum now, I think we're still going to have some disagreements and we're going to have moments where we're able to talk about it from two different perspectives, especially just the differences we have, the different things we've gone through. And just to clarify and add to that, this isn't meant to be extreme. It's not meant to be performative. I know I started this off by saying I was filled with anger over what's going on because it felt like somebody took a shot at our right to speak and to have this moment. But it's not meant to be those things. It's meant to be a place where we can come together, we can talk, and we can be who we are and not feel attacked for having that opinion and that view. Just something to create and foster that community.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume as you know we keep moving forward, keep moving on with this, like we'll start trying to get takes from outside views and outside perspectives. But at the end of the day, we are human beings. We are people. We live on the same earth. We live in the same ways, by the same rules, by the same principles, by the same ideologies. Um, you know, again, we are humans. So, as long as, everything is kept with the same level of respect, then, we we challenge that. We challenge getting views and perspectives that may be different from our views and our thoughts and our opinions. And that's all right because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about, we want to gain some more insight on differing values and differing opinions so that we can broaden our understanding of perspective.
Absolutely. And it's why we come in this format. We're coming to you in a podcast sense where we're reaching out to you. We want to hear from you. We want to see the comments. We want to hear what you want to hear from us. We want to hear your views and opinions. We want to know where you stand, whether you agree or disagree with us. We want to create that same environment, as we were saying earlier, that Charlie Kirk envisioned, that we're able to come together and while we may disagree, to be able to talk, to be able to reach across that aisle and still call each other brothers and sisters, be able to say, okay, we live in the same place, we live by the same values, we live on this same rock. Even I say it that way, and I don't want it to come across as just those here in America where we are. But, even if you're on the complete other side of this planet from us, to be able to say, okay, what do you feel? What do you think? What's going on in your head? And so, with that, we come in this talk format. And honestly, I know we came into this, and that was one of the first questions when we started this little introduction was, it, we don't know what the episode frequency would be at this moment. I know our topics are going to be, like we said earlier, life, politics, faith, conventional, traditional perspectives on just what we're facing in the world right now. And we want to keep it in this kind of cool and calm tone, you might see us get a little bit of conviction behind us of, something really touches us, something really hits us. I know me and Ash talking back and forth when we first kind of started facing this when everything happened back on September 10th. There was a lot of that initial emotion there, but we're going to try our best to remove the emotion and talk about what's happening. I guess removing emotion's the wrong way to say it. To take away the extreme side of that and to explain why we're upset, explain why we're angry, to take those outside perspectives and say, okay, why is this person not angry? Why does this person not view this decision? If we're talking about a law that comes down the road, or, you know, depressions or anything like that, we might be able to look at those and see different perspectives. So to just stay tuned is the only thing that I can say. If you had anything to add on that part.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, at the end of the day, all of us have different walks of life, right? We all tread in our paths, and at the end of the day, regardless of what path that might be, we all face similar challenges along that path, and maybe, some of us do have the ability to just keep pushing. We have the ability to just keep moving regardless of how many hits we take, regardless of how many trips we make and fall. But at the end of the day, there's always somebody that is going to be there to kind of help pick you up, regardless if that's like somebody that you know, family, friends, loved ones. But you have to remember, regardless of all the hardships that you go through, that you're not alone. Nobody's ever alone in the path that they take, because at the end of the day, there's always somebody behind you to keep pushing you forward, keep you up on your feet, moving towards a goal. Right?
Whatever
No,
that goal may be.
nobody has yeah, nobody has an idea of what that goal might be. You yourself might be the only one that knows what that goal is. Maybe you might not know what the full picture of the goal is yourself either. But that's the whole point, right? We have our paths that we're taking. We have an idea of where we want to be, but nobody knows the challenges you're going to face along that path. Nobody knows how many times you're going to fall, how many times you're going to fail, how many times you're going to have to pick yourself back up. But at the end of the day, you're not alone. Everybody has those challenges. Everybody has those struggles, those downfalls, those hardships. And one way or another, you're going to pick yourself back up. You're going to find the courage. You're going to find the strength, the ability to push past all of these walls being built in front of you. And that's the true power of, having that belief in yourself, and having that, reassurance from everybody around you that you aren't trailing this path, you aren't treading this trail on your own.
Absolutely. And I mean, honestly, you hear what we're here for. You hear what we want to do, what we want to provide. So the only thing that I can leave you with is our mission statement. We drafted a lot of this yesterday. I mean, this was a very quick pulling it together and just wanted to get something out there. And you'll find it in the description for the channel. You'll find it anywhere that we continue to post these things. I'll do my best to remember to put it in there, and we'll get better as we go. But our mission statement for this is that we're two men of two faiths, but we have one purpose: to speak what many are too afraid to say. We believe in truth, order, and tradition, not because they're popular, but because they endure. We stay anonymous so our message can speak louder than our names, If you feel exiled for your convictions, your morals, or your belief in something bigger than we are, this light is for you here at the Lantern. So, with that, subscribe, follow, share, leave us a like, leave us a comment. Is there anything that you want to hear? I know this is just the introduction before we actually get into anything big, but if you want to hear something specific from our point of view, let us know. And just remember, this light's here for you. You can sit by the lantern as long as you need. We'll always find you a home here.